everybody, and welcome to another episode of Fire Up. Are we fired up this Thursday evening?
Yay!
Yep.
You know, it's that really kind of weird time in the sports realm. Let's face it. We just finished up the Olympics. Baseball is just starting. NFL is really done except for now combine. And of course, there's the National Drama League, but I don't know how many of us really follow the National Drama League. But so, guys, we just finished the Olympics. What was your favorite sport or event or moment from the Olympics?
I didn't really get to watch much of the Olympics, but I did see when the men's hockey team did win. They beat Canada, and when they were celebrating, they had Johnny Gaudreau's jersey. I think they bought his jersey at the front when they
And
were
his
celebrating.
kids.
So I thought that was cool.
And his kids they brought down on the
And they
ice,
bought his kids. Okay.
which was cool.
A little flashback here. Everybody knows the movie Miracle, but
Mm-hmm.
the name of the roster guys that they scratched off the roster, they made them up in the movie because nobody remembered who they were at the time when they filmed it. If you bring up that, look here, the defensive man first scratched off of the 1980 roster was Jack Hughes, who scores the game winner in the Goldie game.
Jack Hughes.
Talk about premonition.
That is cool. Nice picture. Love it.
I
Yeah,
just thought that was great.
it was that whole and the fact that it was to the date back in it was the same date back in 1980. I'm like, that was really cool.
66 years ago, right? 46,
Yeah. 46, yeah.
46.
And the fact that the women and the men's both took hockey.
And beat Canada both times.
hmm
And didn't women's curling knock out Canada in the gold medal round too?
I thought, didn't women's take silver?
Or knock Canada out of it though, but they knocked Canada
They did
out.
knock Canada. Yes. Mm-hmm. You gotta love what some of the skaters.
That Canada tries to claim at their own. Hockey is the fourth best sport in America right now, even when you go by popularity.
It's the what? It's the fourth.
If because you're talking NFL, NBA, and
Oh yeah.
NBA, and then
You think more than soccer?
It's more popular than soccer television wise, maybe not fan wise. I'm talking about on televised events. Soccer is above WNBA but below hockey.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not trying to knock the WNBA here. Let me make that clear.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. Trying to get the results for the curling. It doesn't show. Let's see. Come on, show me the results. Yeah, I think the U.S. lost to.
We won one of them.
I think, yeah. The mixed.
Yeah.
I think we won the mixed doubles, didn't we?
Yeah, mixed doubles. We got the silver. That must be the one I'm thinking of.
That was the men, and that was the two with the same name, but it wasn't their.
Right, they weren't related. Dropkin Corey was the male, and Thies and Corey Thies, or Corey Dropkin and Corey Thies.
Yes,
that was the male-female team that won.
And she's a lab tech from Minnesota, has a regular full-time job, and let's see.
I had it saved as one of my bookmark. That's why I was able to get to it.
But I also like some of the skating. I like the fact that there's different events that you can watch for the Olympics. Like you
Mhm.
can watch the half pipe, you can watch the downhill, the ski jump. I don't know if you guys caught any of it, and I know Samir, you were saying you didn't get to see a lot of it. But one point they were doing one of the ski jumps, and they were doing tricks, and it was snowing like really bad. Like it was almost hard to see them at times. It was
Oh wow.
crazy. Yeah, I think, and it might have been one of. Trying to think. Yeah, it was one of those. Obviously, we feel bad for Lindsey Vaughn. Kudos to the medical team that had they not done surgery there, they're saying that she would have lost her leg. So
Because I heard it was real close to causing a massive blood clot, which would have made everything go really bad real fast if they didn't get her there in time. So kudos to the medical team.
mhm. Yeah, yeah, but I do think that the men's, that was quite the moment, when they won and taking it to overtime even. And now the controversy and people talking about, oh, should it be 3-on-3 in overtime? Of course you're going to have that controversy, but I mean, it's fair is fair. Like you have the same amount. Like I give kudos to the men's hockey team. I don't know if Jeremy, I don't know if you watched the whole game. We watched it. There at one point, USA was penalized 2 different players, so they were 5-on-3. And I'm going to give kudos to our goalie.
I don't know how he saved that shot.
I saw the save.
Amazing.
It was a great save.
He had some really.
The one where Canada and their players is kicking their butts. The puck was on the one side. It got passed around the boards to the other guy. He had a wide open net when the goalie didn't even see that the puck went over there, and the guy missed it wide on the open side in the third period. I said, they're losing this game. Right there. They're losing this game because that was their chance to put it out of touch, because I didn't think neither team was playing that great offensively at the time. They were just dumping the puck at the net.
Mm-hmm.
There was a lot of turnovers in that third period, excuse me.
There were. And it was, for everybody, if you didn't know this, the men's final game, gold medal game, was the highest watched sporting event before 9 a.m. in the USA. Period. Mm-hmm. Hands down. So kudos to everybody with the Olympics. I mean, we have figure skaters, we have speed skaters. I know one of the kids from Kewaskum, Wisconsin, won gold. Short track, 2 is speed skating, and then I think he's got silver or bronze in one, and then he missed in one. He got 3rd place.
He got gold in the men's 500. He got gold in the 1,000. He got silver in the 1,500. And silver in the men's team pursuit. In the women's mass start, Mia Manganiello got bronze. That's everything we got in speed skating. Speed skating, and it looks like freestyle skiing was our big gold winning, or our big medal winners. We won 8 medals in the freestyle skiing.
Mm-hmm. Guys, the boys of summer have started practicing and started playing.
Mm-hmm.
So, what are we thinking? And the World Baseball Classic is starting next week, right?
Yeah.
Thoughts?
It was pretty entertaining last time. I expect it should be again.
Japan won't be as dominant this time. I guess Shohei is not pitching or playing for them. So I think it's going to come down to the Dominican Republic versus the U.S. in the finals. Because if you look, both of those rosters are stacked. I love the fact that Tariq Skubal wants to play for USA and get his jersey and do his one game. I wish he would save it for one of the knockout rounds instead of the prelims versus Great Britain. But it is what it is. I understand why he's doing it. It's an arbitration year. This is his only $30 million year that he's got. And he's making sure that he stays healthy for the season because he's trying to earn his payday next year.
Yeah, I kind of feel the same way. I think it's going to be U.S. and Puerto Rico in the finals again. I mean, not Puerto Rico, the Dominican Republic. I think those are by far the best rosters. When you look at the other teams in the Classic, I think one possibility is Venezuela, especially if Ronald Acuna is Ronald Acuna. He can. We know. I think he can carry them far. So,
did you guys hear that part of the Cuba team, including one of the coaches, isn't making it through and can't go?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Kind of crazy, right?
A little bit. It's crazy when anyone can't go represent their country for whatever reason, whether it's a legal issue, whatever. I don't want to get into the political side of it.
Some of it's insurance issues too.
Right.
Because
some insurances won't cover you for international play.
Due to increased injuries in 2023, insurance is stricter in 2026, often denying coverage to players with chronic injury history, multiple surgeries, or those 37 or older. And part of that is, let's see, I was reading this. Higher player profiles like Francisco Lindor, Carlos Correa, Jose Altuve, and Miguel Rojas have faced issues with coverage. It is kind of crazy. So let me think where my thought was going to go with this one. So do you guys know how much they pay? Paid.
Yeah.
So the World Baseball players get paid through a significant prize pool, with money distributed to teams for participation and advancing through the rounds. And this money is split between the players and their national federations. For example, in 2023, the World Baseball Classic, each team received $300,000 just for participating, with half going to the players. And winners earned much more, with the champion team getting $1 million to share.
That's not horrible. It's what it's a 25-man roster is what you're able to carry in, right?
I believe so, yeah.
It does stink that Javi Baez cannot play for the World Baseball Classic. He's been suspended due to marijuana use.
Mm-hmm.
Because the world still does not recognize marijuana.
At least baseball doesn't, yeah.
Yeah, I'm just saying the World Baseball Classic,
right?
Don't recognize it.
Exactly. I think it should be interesting, though. I think it'll be a good couple weeks watching with some good teams, good representatives.
I said that's a good thing. The way he played last year, out of his 100 at bats, it'd have been 66 strikeouts they won't have.
Plus, I think it's almost good because it's a good warm up for those for the regular season. You know, it gives them a chance to face players they might not normally.
Right. It's kind of like an all-star game before the all-star game. It's the best that every country has to offer.
Yeah. Well, I would say it's more competitive than the all-star game.
Oh, yeah. Because this is about national pride. It's kind of like playing in the Olympics.
Exactly. I think Aaron Judge came out and said, men's hockey won gold. Now it's our turn. World Baseball.
Good quote.
Yep.
And I heard Paul Skeens is only allowing himself to play in 2 games for the USA. So your two best pitchers are only going to be available for 3 games. That's not a good look. I'm sorry. I'm not saying that their roster isn't stacked.
Right. No, I get it. And I mean, it's a fine line. I mean, they make their money in the major leagues. They don't make their money in the World Baseball Classic. They want to be a part of it. I get that, but yeah, Judge said he was motivated to win after the Olympic hockey gold. It's our turn, he said.
Isn't it crazy that both of them were 2-1 scores in overtime? The women and the men's hockey game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So the U.S. the last time they won gold at the World Baseball Classic was back in 2017.
They have it every 3 years, right? Every 3 years?
Yes.
And I know they didn't have it in 2020. So, yeah. Okay. Yeah. They have it. Yeah. They have it every 3 years.
Yep. So what do we feel about Scherzer to the Blue Jays?
Scherzer to the Blue Jays. I think it's a decent pickup for them. Obviously, he's not the old Max Scherzer of a few years ago, even when he had that short stint with the Mets. But I think he can be serviceable for them. He might provide some depth in their rotation, especially since they lost Chris Bassett.
Good to see you, Earl. Earl just showed up in the chat.
Hello, Mr. Earl. How are you tonight?
So I think it gives them a solid 3 or 4 in their rotation. He is not the Max of old, but it's somebody that they can bring in to shore up the middle of that rotation, which it did look like when they got to the Seattle Mariners, they struggled a little bit with.
Can you believe this is his 19th season?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And Verlander.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Scherzer comes back on a 1-year, $3 million base salary that's worth up to $10 million in incentives. I like it when they do the incentives on for these guys.
So you kind of moved on. You didn't say who you thought was going to be in the finals of the World Baseball Classic.
None of us did. None of us said for sure.
Did. We both did.
I said the U.S. and the Dominican Republic.
Yeah, and I said the same thing.
That sounds good to me too. I mean,
okay.
I think U.S. will. I think we have a strong, barring any injuries.
That is the main thing for all the teams, really.
Correct.
Because when you're talking about a team full of stars, any injury can hamper your team at any minute.
Mm-hmm. Well, and it might affect how everybody else plays, knowing that that they don't. Obviously, it's the start of their season, so. But yeah, 41 years old, $3 million contract.
Trying to get better every day there, Earl. Thank you.
I'm doing just fine. Thank you for asking.
So, Samir, I got a question about your Atlanta Falcons for you.
Yep.
Kyle Pitts, it signs his franchise tag on Tuesday.
Yeah, I had a feeling that would happen. That kind of felt like that's the direction it would go in for a while, especially considering the second half and the finish of the season he had. He had the second most receiving yards for a tight end in the NFL. Was top 5 in catches. Was top 5, I think, in yards after the catch. So went to his first career All-Pro as a Pro Bowl's rookie year on top of that. And when Kevin Stefanski was hired, and you consider the success that guys like David Njoku and recently Harold Fannin last year had as tight ends in that offense, it kind of felt like a foregone conclusion that Kyle Pitts was going to come back. And just a side note, the quarterback, Kyle Pitts' rookie year, when he had 1,000 yards, is the current president of football.
Mhm.
So now it's just a matter of what are they going to do under center and how they're going to incorporate him in that offense. But I think it's the right move.
And because he hasn't had consistency through his 4 years there, I think it was the right move too, because this kind of gives him like another prove it year to show it wasn't a fluke. And if
Yeah.
he does it, they may extend him long term. If not, and let's say God forbid, the Falcons are not in a position at the trade deadline to go anywhere, it may make him a tradable commodity.
Yeah, definitely. Now, the only key part that I'm trying to struggle with is I don't know how we can pay him long term, but then also pay Drake London somewhere around 32 to 35 million a year.
Right.
Because he's a top 10 receiver. He's going to want top 10 money, 32 to 35 is in that area. And then we got to pay Bijan Robinson. Him and Jahmyr Gibbs are going to set the new market for running backs.
Probably around 22 to 24 million, both of them.
Yeah. So someone's got to be the odd man out. That's why I just don't know how you can sign all three of them long term. And Kyle's going to be the odd man out in that case.
Well, it helps that it looks like you're getting rid of Kirk Cousins if you don't get a trade off. And that's going to be a lot of money off your books because this is the year it clears up in the cap room.
Yeah. Well, Ian Cunningham did say that on the recent local radio station that they were going to release him. So that's a done deal.
Right.
So where do you think he ends up?
I've heard some rumors about him being back in Minnesota.
But
now that depends. I've heard reports that Kevin O'Connell was never that high on JJ McCarthy. So it depends on what Minnesota wants to do there. Does he end up in Cleveland? I don't know. Does he do the Jets? The Jets are a possibility.
They got the cap room. Minnesota doesn't have a lot of cap room, and from what I'm hearing, they're looking at doing a quarterback swap, and you'll never believe with what team. The Colts, AR-15 for JJ McCarthy.
That's interesting.
Yeah, they and that came from let me see who posted that earlier because I do have it saved in my phone.
It says in the there's mutual interest between Minnesota and Richardson Wolf ads.
Yep. And we did have a trade today, though.
A player for player trade.
Yep. The Titans traded defensive tackle, I think second or third year guy Tavondre Sweat to the Jets for second or third year guy Jermaine Johnson. And if you think about it, it fits both teams. They had depth at defensive tackle at the Titans. They didn't have depth at defensive end. And it was just the opposite for the Jets. And it also paves the way with them having the second pick. Reuben Bain Jr., you're probably a Jet.
Seems like it's going to go that way, go that route. But yeah, I think, Jeremy, to go back to your question about the franchise tag forgot to get this last part in Kyle Pitts. I think, as you mentioned, it does give them a chance to do maybe a test run in that system before whether or not they decide to commit long term if they don't get a deal done before the season. Because if they do get a deal done before the season, that $16 million franchise tag goes down. So it'd be more favorable towards the cap.
Right.
But yeah, I think that trade's a good trade for both teams. I think they sold on young players and you can maybe fill needs.
Right, because you got Arden Key that plays inside and out, and Jeffrey Simmons and all those guys on that Titans defensive line that's been so good for years. They needed somebody to come in to inject youth on that defensive end room because Arden Key, he gets hurt every now and then.
So Jeremy, Lions Decker plans to return for his 11th season. Feeling good about that?
I like it and I don't like it at the same time, because Decker was already on the roster. Let's not sugarcoat it, and we're sitting over the cap. If he would have retired like he hinted at after that last week 18 game, our cap would have been dead even. We'd be sitting where we could just restructure and make cap room. Now we have a major decision. Do we, because he has another year left on that contract, do we let it go status quo another year, or do we draft his replacement this year? Because at any time, the next injury, that could be it. Because he's over 30 years old. He has been playing a long time in the NFL. I love Decker, don't get me wrong, but his play each year has gotten a little bit less. And right now, the Browns said they are basically jettisoning their whole starting offensive line. And there's a guy that was drafted after him who's had a better career, technically, by statistics, and that's Jack Conklin.
Mm-hmm.
They were drafted in the same draft. Conklin has 2 All-Pros and 4 Pro Bowls. Taylor Decker was an alternate Pro Bowl. So there's a big difference there from being voted in and then having to go in as an alternate.
Mm-hmm.
Getting late for you, isn't it, Candy? Getting late for you again?
I guess it's been a week, I guess, but it's all good. It's all good. So there's a lot of teams that are, I've noticed, that are allowing players to delve in the trades, seeking trades. So the Colts Richardson is allowed. Who else is another one? There was, I was just looking at it. Panthers Dalton has been receiving a lot of trade interest. The Bears granted Edmonds permission to seek trade. So there's a couple of them out there. They announced that the Commanders and Jaguars are hosting London games in 2026. I have a question for you guys. They came out with the NFL PA survey, and the Dolphins ranked number 1 again. The Steelers got the worst grade.
For what?
What are your thoughts? It's the NFL PA survey that comes where they rank them in. Oh, they
like
rank
how they treat their players, the coaching,
how they treat the locker room.
And I heard another one of the worst ones was the Jets, and then because he complained about it, the report card got pulled down, but not before it was seen. And they said they will not be doing this going forward.
Yeah, but they released them anyway. And the funny one was, so the Bengals cafeteria or dining hall earned an F last year. So you had a year to, I guess Mike Brown had a year to make any adjustments, make improvements, whatever. They got an F- this year.
That would be the equivalent of an I, right? Incomplete.
Yeah, well, I mean, the Steelers being last kind of surprised me, considering the outside reputation of the organization. I know a lot of Steelers fans are frustrated with the state of the franchise, though. So maybe there's a lot more to that.
But if you look under Tomlin, they had one of the smallest coaching staffs. But now what they got under McCarthy, which is probably the largest coaching staff they've had since Chuck Noll. And a lot of, I think that's going to be good for them going forward, because now they have enough assistants to assist everybody and get them in better positions. And I think that may help to give a little stability to that team. I know, Yenzer, you hate McCarthy, but I like what he's doing with his assistants.
Yeah, definitely. I know they got in large part due to the condition of their field, because it does get used a lot. I think they play some high school games there. Then, of course, you have Pitt football there, and then the Steelers. So that field's gotten worn out. I don't know how they're gonna address that from here on out, but it'll be interesting to see.
Mm-hmm. What other NFL news? Jeremy, you want to talk a little bit about the combine, since you've been
Yeah, I've been paying attention to it. Sonny Styles and Averill Reese. Averill Reese worked out with the linebackers, but he's considered an edge. But he's 6'4" and 250. Sonny Styles is 6'5" and 245. These guys both ran a 4.46 40 today. Sonny Styles and Math Bomb Kent Lee Platt that posts all his stuff on X says Sonny Styles is the first linebacker in history to score a perfect 10 and be the number one ranked linebacker coming out of college through his math system. And that's since 1987. There's been 3,463 of them.
Wow.
He ran the 4.46 40. He had a 43.5-inch vertical. He had an 11-foot 2-inch broad jump, which leads the day between the defensive linemen and linebackers. And then I was watching earlier because, the bench press is done by everybody through the first 3 days. Whenever they're not interviewing, they do all the stuff that doesn't really matter, so they don't tire them out before the 40s.
Yep.
A punter. Michael
Lee
Turk.
Hunter.
No, a punter.
Oh,
Hunter.
Hunter, my fault.
Michael Turk did 25 reps at 225 pounds. He beat out half of the defensive linemen. That's amazing.
That is crazy.
And somebody in the chat through the stream where they were live streaming it on X without the sound, of course, so we could do our own commentary as we were watching. Somebody pointed, "How did OSU lose?" I said, "Indiana."
Mm-hmm. Yep. I would agree.
But I'll tell you who gave themselves a big payday today, and that's the defensive tackle from Penn State, Zane Durant. He ran a 4.75 40 for a 300-pound man.
Yikes. So kind of jumping. How about Brandon Aubrey, the kicker?
Dallas better pay that man or somebody else will.
Yeah. I think if there's a kicker that's going to get $10 million, I think he deserves it.
I think
I agree.
over the last 4 seasons, he's the most accurate kicker in the league.
Mm-hmm. And he can kick from just about anywhere.
I think as long as 61, I think it is right now. If I remember right, it's either 61 or 62. I know he didn't hit the 64.
Yeah. Let's see. What did he? He successfully made 88.2% of his field goals. He made 35 field goals from 50 plus since 2023, 7 more than his closest competitor.
I take that back. He made NFL history on September 8th of 2024 with the 71-yard field goal versus the Browns in preseason. He had a 65-yarder.
Mm-hmm. The Cowboys offered him a league high 6.4 average per season.
Yeah. Someone's got some fast fingers. That would be Samir, I would bet. He has a hard typing compound. When he types, I hear this.
Let's see what else. Aubrey turns 31 next month, has been named to the Pro Bowl In each of his first 3 seasons, he has made 6 field goals from 60 yards or longer, the most in NFL history. Last season, he connected on 11 of 17 field goals attempts and from 50 yards or more.
Mhm.
Yeah. 10 million for the
An automatic
easily the best kicker in football. Arguably a Hall of Famer at this point, this trajectory. Yeah.
And let's face it, the UFL just passed 3 laws this week, and most of the rules that get put into play in the UFL come to the NFL within 3 years now. They just made it so every field goal over 60 yards is 4 points. If your team is on offense and you get past the 50, you cannot punt. You either have to go for it on 4th down or kick a field goal. And they banned the tush push.
Oh, did they?
They did.
The UFL has banned the tush push.
Oh.
I didn't see that anywhere. Did they ban it?
Yes. Dean Blandito did because he's the main guy, the commissioner of the referees. He did a video about it earlier today.
I haven't seen anything about them passing something that could ban something that they had banned it.
And Earl confirmed it. That's right, Jeremy.
Again, crazy.
So if those come into play within the next year to 2 years, don't say we didn't warn you in the NFL.
Oh, I thought it happened like today.
No. The UFL. Oh. The UFL.
Oh, the UFL. Oh, okay.
The United Football League that's getting ready to start the new rules for this year. There's no tush push. Kicks over 60 yards or 4 points, and you cannot punt if you're on where you're going into your area to score. If you're past the 50, you cannot punt on 4th down. And I know they're trying to promote scoring. I know it's an out. They moved all the teams. It was indoors, outdoors. That's the reason the moves happened the way they did. And I guess they moved us to Columbus because once that new soccer stadium gets built in Detroit, they're going to move them back and make them the Michigan Panthers again. So the Michigan will get their UFL team back, but it might be an expansion team by that time.
Interesting. Yeah, when they're ranking these NFLPA, let's see, I thought I had seen it before.
I think almost there was like the bottom 4 are the ones that have kind of been in the bottom 4 for a while. There was only 1 or 2 surprises. And the top 4, they're there every year. And the ones in the middle, they really don't move. Because they've got good facilities, not great. They're not bad. They're not horrible. You know, Chicago's always there at the bottom because the stadium has been sucking for years. Fans there complain about Soldiers Field. And there's rumor SB 27 passed the Senate. So it is going to the governor to be passed into law, that SB 27, which will give them so many years of no taxes if Chicago moves there to build their stadium in Hammond, Indiana. Yeah, I know. That's what Adam said, and now they took mine away too. The Panthers are now in Ohio, and they're in Columbus, down there where overrated State University is.
Yeah. It was actually, as of the 24th, it was amended by the House, so it now goes back to the Senate. Senate's going to approve it, and then the governor would sign it.
Yeah, it's supposed to be. I heard it passed today from somebody that's in Indiana, 94-4.
94-4. That is correct.
So it's going to the governor next.
So now it really all depends. It depends on a multitude of things. Are the Bears actually choosing Indiana as their number 1 option, number 1? Or number 2, is this just a power play by the Bears to use Indiana as leverage to get a better deal from the state of Illinois, because it doesn't seem like it's going to happen in downtown Chicago. So I would have to guess it would be Arlington Heights at this point. And I just don't see how you can have the Bears playing in Indiana, even though it is 30 minutes outside of Chicago. It just wouldn't, like, and yeah, the Giants and Jets play in New Jersey. The Chiefs are going to play in Kansas. Well, the Chiefs are moving like 20, 25 minutes away. So it really doesn't make a difference, but it just wouldn't feel like the Chicago Bears, if that makes sense.
Well, if you heard what the mayor of Chicago said about the Bears just 6 months ago, I think it's a little bit more than a power play. He basically called them a trash franchise and all sorts of stuff. So the governor shut down the building of everything in Arlington Heights. They had the old racetrack cleared out and they were ready to go to work to put it together, because let's face it, the plumbing's right for a stadium there. The electrical's right for a stadium. It's got the right feeds and everything for the concessions. But it doesn't take that long to have all that put in place in a blank lot of land that they want to do in Indiana. The problem is the state wants to put their contractors in there, and we know how state contractors do. It's no different than when they say they're going to repair the interstate. Oh, we're going to have it shut down a month. 6 months later, you're still driving through the same construction. Because limited overtime, whatever, versus a private contractor that'll get in there and try to meet your deadline because they want to get paid that more money.
Right.
So
right.
Now the governor is saying that they want to do some stuff, and they're trying to get some stuff passed quick through the Illinois state, because they're the ones that blocked it. So now they got to make concessions to Chicago to get them to want to stay.
Yeah, definitely. Because I saw last week that they were going to convene to discuss the Arlington Heights Stadium, and I guess they pushed that meeting back to discuss more, I guess, externalities and outside factors regarding the stadium. But it seems like they really want, I mean, I can't blame them. I mean, you can't let the Bears leave the state, especially a founding franchise like the Bears. I mean, and considering how much value they bring to the city of Chicago and the state, like, think about it. Even if they have it in Arlington Heights, you know, you're getting the potential for the Super Bowl. And if it's going to be a multi-purpose stadium, which I assume it will be, it's concerts, events, conventions. You're losing a lot of money for the state if you let the Bears.
The thing is, either way, I guess what they're building in Hammond, because they understood that they bought the land at Arlington Heights. So what they're doing, instead of just doing it as a rental contract, it'll be a 30-year contract, but they're renting to own the stadium outright. And I think that's the incentive that might push Chicago to make the move, because in all actuality, it'll only hurt the people on the west side of the Chicago for travel time. Everybody on the east side, it's about the same amount of time, because let's face it, rush hour traffic to get to Soldier Field is awful. And as far as me as a Lions fan, I would much rather go to Hammond, Indiana. That saves an hour and a half off of my travel to get to see them play when the Lions are there. Candy knows exactly what I'm talking about. Because as soon as you get that Illinois state line in that corner, you get to a traffic.
It is crazy at that point.
And Soldier Field is the smallest stadium in the league, with only 62,000 feet. But that's after they added on with that UFO on top of it. We hear you.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm just saying. Like, it's more about, I just don't know if you're the state of Illinois, if this doesn't give you a sense of urgency. I don't know what will, because again, this is the Chicago Bears we're talking about.
Right.
Mhm.
And they had the first franchise before the Bears in Chicago in the Cardinals. Back in 1896 was the very first football team.
Yep.
Mhm. Wow.
So that's what, 1896, 26.
I mean, for me, it's not the same. Yeah, I mean, for me, it's not the same as the New York teams playing in New Jersey, because the Meadowlands is literally, you cross the bridge, you're there, you're in New York. So it's really not the same. Like, the Meadowlands situation is similar to the Braves playing in Cali County. Like, you're right outside the city. This, you're in a completely different state. Well, you mean, yeah, you're in a different state there, but
Hey, wait a minute, they're in a different state in New Jersey.
well, yeah, well.
But it's about the same amount of travel time technically from if the traffic is right going out of New York to MetLife, it's a half hour, 45-minute drive. How often is the traffic right leaving New York? That's probably closer to a 2-hour drive. And the big thing is Illinois has some of the highest state taxes for property tax around. So on top of the upkeep of the stadium that the city doesn't keep up with, so the team has to keep up with it, they pay another $180 million a year just in taxes on top of the rent of the building, and then they upkeep it.
Mhm. Wow.
I have actually listened to Ken the Bear Fan on Ken and Ken in the Morning. He's been going into details about this stuff all the time. That's why I know a little bit more than the average Joe.
It's all good. It's all good. So, if anybody is coming to Florida and wants to drive Alligator Alley, be careful, because if you didn't know, there's over 30,000 miles of it's under fire. Let's put it that way.
Wildfires, right?
Wildfires, yes. Smoke has shut down part of it. Part of our problem is down here is we are in an extreme drought down here in Florida. We haven't had a lot of rain at all, and so it's not a good situation. So
Right, and with it getting cold those few nights where you got that little bit of frost, when it would melt in the morning sun and become dew, it did that refraction thing, is what they think started the fires.
mhm.
Hey, I
The
don't
traffic in
I
Chicago
listen
is
to the Weather Channel. I get it.
mhm. I gotcha. What else would you gentlemen like to talk about tonight?
Let me think.
How about them Pistons? They just keep winning.
Well, the Hawks have won, make that 4 out of the last 5. About Jonathan Kuminga.
Yeah, I don't know. We need a hurricane to put Candy to put out the fire. It's not a good situation. It's not good down there on Alligator Alley. They've actually closed it at part during parts of the day and rerouted traffic. It's like I said, with the drought, wildfires are never good, no matter what. But especially in the drought that we're in right now. Last I had heard, there's 80 homes that they might need to evacuate. So it is more on the Naples side.
Right,
Those
Naples fire side.
Yeah. What else you guys want to discuss tonight?
Like I was saying about the Pistons, we just took on the last year's reigning champion, Oklahoma City Thunder, and gave them an 8-point thumping. It's not a big one, but when you're talking about the only thing that they had on their bench was SGA, which is huge. Don't get me wrong. SGA is probably the best player on that team. we're without our best enforcer because he's still suspended for another 2 games, and that's Beef Stew.
Mm-hmm.
And we were winning without Duran and Stew, and that was crazy. That was like, how are we winning these games? And guys like Paul Reed and Dennis Jenkins are stepping up, and I was like, who are these guys?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're saying it's over 25,000 acres of wildfire. It is not contained at all. So,
Yeah, and that's weird with it being the Everglades, because Alligator Alley is the Everglades, the marshlands, the fact that it's so dry that they're able to burn right now. It's crazy.
it is. It is. And it's over in Big Cypress National Park. So they are saying it is now over 30,000 acres and it's 0% contained. What's up with Paul George? Paul George.
Yeah, it looks like it's looking pretty bad. It's like stretching into the up in the Panhandle. They got a fire warning too. This is due to the Keach-Bryan drought index, and some of the ones that may be getting in trouble up there in the Panhandle, close underneath Mississippi, in Alabama, and then all the way from like down where you were talking about in Alligator Alley, and then up to the east side of the state, above Daytona, is all in the red right now from this drought. Acres burned right now is 35,129. The federal area is 6,406 acres, or a total of 41,535 acres burned right now.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
And we had Chris Paul retire in the last week.
Yeah,
we did.
Yeah, he retired a couple weeks ago. It's a shame he retired without a ring. He was somebody that I did want to see win a ring at some point. He had his chances.
You know what? He might be right that they need to do that. What Paul George is saying about talking sports enhancement drugs for mental issues, especially with what just happened over the weekend with a young receiver with a budding career, Rondale Moore. The Vikings fans are reeling because they also lost a guy from the 80s, Roniel Whitaker, passed away this weekend too on Sunday. So back-to-back days, they had somebody from the Viking family go down. My hearts and prayers go out to them. But we need something to help these players mentally. It seems like that's 2 suicides in less than a calendar year between Marshawn Nealand and now Rondale Moore, because it was suicide in his own garage.
Kyren Lacy.
Yeah, Kyrie. That's the one from college, right? Lacy.
Yeah.
I'm just talking about in the NFL alone, where the money is a little bit more there for them kids, these young men. I should say. I shouldn't say kids. Yeah, I'm 55, so I feel like they're kids.
I gotcha.
But and same in college. Maybe they need to do more mental health awareness with each team. Have a help. That's one of the things that I like that the Lions did when Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes got here. They did bring in a mental health specialist on top of their strength and conditioning coaches, and I think that was a huge part to add into that part of Allen Park, because they got somebody they can go talk to.
I mean, every team should have one. I'm honestly surprised every team doesn't have one.
That was one of the first I heard of it in 2021. I wish I was 45. Thank you, Earl.
You're a good man, Earl. You're a good man.
You know what's funny is I was 100 pounds heavier when I was 45. So no, I don't wish I was 45.
Do I wish I was 45? Let's see. My mom would still be alive. My dad would still be alive.
I'm
You
blessed
know.
that at 55, I have both of my parents. My dad often pops into the chat here. We've seen him many times.
He does. Yep. Yeah, I'm unfortunate in that realm, but and it's a weird feeling, let me tell you, when it happens, because it's like all of a sudden, I mean, I have 2 sisters and a brother, but I'm the oldest. So I kind of feel like, I don't know, the old person in the family, and uh
That's what I am. Is I'm the oldest child. I got 2 brothers, 2 sisters, and I'm the oldest child.
mhm. But it does give you, it's because it's like you're like you don't have parents, and you just like, it's not that like you're lost, but you just feel weird, like, because let's face it, for the most part, most of us, if you have a good relationship, anytime something goes wrong or if you have a question, those were your go-to people for the longest time. But I know, like when I'm cooking, I'm like constantly thinking, I'm like, Mom, what do I do? Oh yeah, that's right. She's not. But yes. What else do you guys want to? I mean, we have my team or my town to go yet, but any other topics you guys want to hit?
I think we pretty much hit them all.
I think we've hit everything.
Okay, Samir, your town.
All right. So as I just mentioned, the Hawks have won 4 out of their last 5. It's 3 in a row. They sweep the home, back-to-back home games Tuesday night and tonight against the Wizards. It was Trey's first time being back in Atlanta. He didn't play, but they did a tribute video and a standing ovation for him. Jonathan Kuminga off to a great start in Atlanta. He had 27 the other night, had 17 tonight. Corey Kispert had 33. He went 5 for 5 in the first quarter, had 19. Jalen Johnson was out. Nickeil Alexander-Walker was out. They're now 30 and 31. They've got Portland coming to town this weekend. And if they win, they'll be back at 500 for the first time since December. The Falcons did franchise tag Kyle Pitts as expected. I think it's the right move for a multitude of reasons I stated earlier. They are going to release Kirk. Who knows what's going to happen with Darnell Moon? He seems like Tyler Algier being gone is unfortunately a done deal. I hope we can keep Caden Ellis. The Braves are in the thick of spring training. They lost 7-3 to the Yankees today. I think Carlos Carrasco pitched, gave up 5 runs in the first. I doubt he makes the roster, unfortunately, but he wasn't great when he pitched last year and had a bad outing today, obviously. And I think one rookie you have to look out for with the Braves is J.R. Ritchie. I think he's going to make a name for himself on this pitching staff. He pitched toward the end of last year. A couple outings, pitched well. We'll see how that goes. And that's it for my town.
Jeremy, what's going on in your town?
Well, we got the Red Wings that just beat the Ottawa Senators, so they're back to rolling like they were when they got that the Olympic break is over. We got the Pistons still rolling. They're off tonight. Probably a well-needed break after having to face OKC before they go on the road. Life is good. And as far as preseason MLB, I can see what we've done lately. I don't think there has been much, really. I know we got whooped the other day.
You guys are right now 0-5.
Yeah, I think it's because we're playing more of our backups and stuff and getting some much needed backups playing. That's all.
Let's see. Are you any other news for Detroit?
We had a lot of people we talked to at the draft. And I was watching Danny Dennis Sutton, which I had a draft profile on. We talked to him. We talked to Red Murdoch of Buffalo. We also talked to Lee Hunter the defensive tackle, and Caleb Banks, who might have moved up because he had a very good showing at the combine today too. So things are looking good. It's looking like they're looking more defense, and I think that's due to Decker coming back. But like I said, it really depends if these guys because we got to restructure to clear cap. If these guys don't restructure, unfortunately, cap wise, Decker makes the most sense after June 1st to clear cap because it'll clear $18 million.
Mm-hmm.
So we may be drafting a tackle anyways, and if that's the case, we should do it in the first 2 rounds.
Yep.
That's just
I
my
get
opinion.
you. As far as my town, let's see. It's almost March Madness, guys. We didn't talk college basketball at all. But we are hoping, we put credentials in, we are hoping to cover the Miami Hurricanes on Saturday. And then we're hoping to cover the Marlins on Sunday. So we get a little bit of basketball and then a little bit of baseball. As far as in my town, the Bucks, they're still struggling. They're still trying to find their way. And part of it is Giannis and his injuries. And part of it, I think, is all the speculation. Is he staying? Is he going? What are we doing with him? As far as the Brewers, they're doing okay. Let's see. I was just looking that up a minute ago. Let's right now the standings in the Cactus League. They are 3-4. So, but it's spring training. It's everybody's trying to figure out who, what, when, where, and why. Let's see. The Badgers basketball team. They were ranked, and then after the Sunday's ranking, they fell out of the top 25. But I would say kudos to Wisconsin's hockey program, because I believe, Earl, good night. You wake up really early. But thanks for being on. Appreciate you watching. I know you've been a supporter of a lot of our shows, so thank you. But a lot of the girls that played for Wisconsin hockey actually were in the Olympics. They had a lot of people that played on either the Canadian team or on the women's USA team. But I thought I had saw that they just took they won the regular season, maybe. I don't remember. I do want to shoot out the U.S. women's hockey goalie, Frankel, only allowed 2 goals in the whole Olympics.
Talking about the female goalie, yeah.
The female goalie, yep. And then even the male goalie, he's only allowed 5 goals during the Olympics.
What was crazy about that, at one point, they gave up 1 goal in their first game, and then they had 5 straight shutouts. And the next goal they gave up for the women was in the gold medal game, the game tying goal. Mm-hmm. How crazy is that? I think they said they scored 37-2 throughout the whole run.
It was crazy. I know this is sports related, but if anybody's into the planets, the moon, and whatnot, there's a couple of cool little events happening this weekend. Like I believe it's Saturday night. 6 planets will kind of align, and you'll be able to see them with like a telescope. On March 3rd, it's also considered the blood moon, which means it's actually the total lunar eclipse that bathes the moon in a haunting copper red glow, because the atmosphere scatters the blue light and lets you only see the warm red tones pass through the lunar surface. So that's kind of cool. So just some kind of really, really different things. Anything else, guys?
I'm looking forward to seeing what happens tomorrow in the combine in the next couple of days, because tomorrow I believe it was tight ends and offensive line, or defensive backs. So that's going to be interesting. Instead of running the wide receivers with them, and I think it's because there's so many wide receivers and there's so many defensive backs that they're splitting them up to go with the smaller groups so they can get through them faster and stay within the scheduling confines of TV, because it is such a watched event. So get your popcorn ready, get your drinks.
Samir, how can everybody find you?
You can find me every night here on Thursdays on Fire Up. You can find a lot of my articles on the newly relaunched Sideline Sports and Entertainment website. And you can find me on X at ATL_Samir2401. I put a lot of my content along with a lot of Atlanta sports content up there. Thank you guys for tuning in. I'll catch you guys next week.
Jeremy, how about you?
Well, you can find me right here on the South Florida Tribune channel on Fire Up every Thursday. You can find my writings at southfloridatribune.com underneath the contributor setting, where you can find the Motor City Tribune, and I'm the second name you see. Then you can also find me on my channel, which is Kneecap Fighting with the Motor City Lions, where I go live so much I think my parents hate me.
That's kind of funny. South Florida Tribune Publishing Company published the book, Lessons to the Microphone, Tuning into the Enduring Wisdom of Visionary Leaders. It is written by my husband, not me, my husband. He's the writer of the group. But he wrote this book. It talks about his 40 plus years in the media business and how it has evolved. And it's kind of a handbook for people that are trying to get into the business. Thank you, Jeremy. So yes, go get your copy today. It's available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Kindle, Google, and Apple Books. The audiobook is also out there too. So wherever you get your audiobook, go check it out. Our website, www.southfloridatribune.com. Jeremy writes for us. Samir's got some articles on there. There's a plethora of other great content, so go check it out. If you'd like to listen to podcasts, you can find us wherever you get your podcasts. If you want to be a guest or want to sponsor us or advertise, you can always email me at southfloridatribune@gmail.com. Last but not least, if you see the red subscribe button in that lower right-hand corner, click it, like us, share us with all your friends and family. Tell everybody, and then turn your notifications on so you're notified every time we go live. With that, guys, Jeremy, end us. You always do.
Try every day to be a better person than you were the day before. That's the only way to make the world a better place. It starts right here. Much love, everybody.
Thanks, everybody that was in the chat room. We appreciate all of you. Good night.